Okay, let's be honest for a second. Most people don't actually know what GPU they should buy. You open YouTube, search best graphics card, and suddenly you're being told everything from just get something cheap for now to anything under $1,000 is garbage. And the worst part is, they all kind of sound right. So instead of adding more confusion, I'm gonna break it down in a way that actually makes sense. Not by models, not by names, not by hype, but by real budgets people actually have. From $100 all the way to the point where things start getting a little ridiculous. Let's get into it. Tier 1, $100. Alright, this is the I just need something that works tier. At this level, you're almost always looking at the used market. And yeah, that's normal here. This is where older cards like the RX 580, GTX 1070, and the GTX 1660 Super show up, depending on your local deals. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This isn't high settings gaming. This is let me just get into the game and play gaming. Esports titles, totally fine. Valorant, CS2, Fortnite, League, they'll run. But modern AAA games, you're going to turn down settings a lot, sometimes all the way down. Still, if your goal is just to get into PC gaming without spending much, this tier actually delivers more than people give it credit for. Tier 2, up to $300. Now, we're entering the real first upgrade point. This is where things start feeling modern. At this budget, you're typically looking at cards like the Intel Arc B580 or RTX 5060. And this is the first time when you actually stop feeling like you're making do and start feeling like you're actually PC gaming. 1080p high settings, easy. Esports at high refresh rates, no problem. And in a lot of games, you can even push beyond that if you're willing to tweak a few settings. What really changes here though isn't just performance, it's consistency. Games feel smoother, drivers are better, streaming and recording actually become usable. This is honestly the first tier where I'd say, okay, now you're properly in PC gaming. Tier 3, $500. This is the sweet spot, no debate. At around this budget, you're getting cards like the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB and the RX 9060 XT 16GB. And the biggest difference here isn't just raw FPS, it's headroom. You stop worrying about whether a game will run well and start thinking about how long it'll stay running well in the future. That extra VRAM matters more than people think. Textures stay sharp, frame drops are less common, newer games age better on your system. And if you're doing any editing or creative work, this is where things start feeling genuinely fast, instead of it works but I'm still waiting a bit. If someone asks me where the safest place to spend money is, it's right here. Tier 4, $600 to $900. Now, we're in proper enthusiast territory. This is where you start seeing GPUs like the RTX 5070, RX 9070, RTX 5070 Ti, and RX 9070 XT. And, at this point, gaming changes a bit. You're no longer asking, can it run this? You're asking, how far can I push this? 1440p Ultra becomes normal. 4K starts becoming realistic instead of just being a buzzword. And features like ray tracing, frame gen actually become usable without destroying performance. This is also where creators really start benefiting. Editing feels instant. Renders don't feel like waiting anymore. Everything just moves faster in general. But here's the honest truth. This tier is where you start paying for comfort. It's not a necessity. Tier 5, $1,000 and above. And then we get here, the top, the I don't want compromises tier. This is where the RTX 5090 sits. And there's not much to explain in terms of raw performance, because it destroys everything. 4K with heavy ray tracing, easy. 4K editing, no problem. Massive blender scenes, smooth. AI workloads, ridiculous. But let's be real for a second. Most people don't need this. This is for professionals, enthusiasts, or people who just want the absolute best no matter what it costs. It's not really a logical purchase. It's a because I can purchase. So, at the end of the day, here's what actually matters. Don't start with the GPU, start with the budget. Because every tier gives you a different experience. And there's no point forcing yourself into something overkill just because it looks good on paper. The right GPU isn't the fastest in the world. It's the one that fits in your case without draining your wallet. And as always, stay on the spec sheet.